Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book, The Curse of Bigness, a creation by Tim Wu. The Curse of Bigness, 2018, explores current issues concerning the dominance of a few large corporations in markets. By delving into the political, economic, and legal evolution of this concentration, the author addresses the reasons behind this phenomenon and its associated risks, offering potential solutions. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Tim Wu, currently a professor at Columbia Law School, previously held positions at the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the New York Office of the Attorney General, and the Obama administration's National Economic Council. He is recognized for his term network neutrality from his 2003 paper and is the author of The Master Switch and the Attention Merchants. With 11 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on StoryPlanet.net. To start, learn about the history and problems of economic concentration. Industrialized nations are experiencing a resurgence of economic concentration, where industries are dominated by a few large companies like Amazon and Google. Over 75% of industries in the US have seen increasing concentration since 2000. This trend has historical roots, with various consequences and potential solutions being explored. Arguments both for and against monopolies are considered, along with key figures and movements in the debate. Key idea number 1, economic concentration increased during the Gilded Age, leading to the formation of monopolies. During the Gilded Age in the US, 1870s-1900, economic concentration thrived, leading to the formation of large corporations known as trusts. These trusts dominated various industries, with some reaching monopoly status, controlling entire sectors like steel and oil. Prominent figures like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and J.P. Morgan amassed vast fortunes through monopolistic practices. The success of these individuals fueled the pro-monopoly trust movement of the time. Key idea number 2. Monopolies were considered a superior economic organization by some advocates. Competition is a core element of capitalism traditionally believed to drive innovation and quality. Monopolies, however, were seen by the trust movement of the Gilded Age as a superior economic model, providing stability, efficiency, and order by eliminating constant price wars and offering economies of scale. Monopolies were seen as beneficial compared to the chaotic nature of competition. Key idea number 3. Advocates of monopolies promoted social Darwinism and laissez-faire economics. Monopolies were seen by the trust movement as a natural outcome of competition, where the strongest companies survive and establish dominance in the market. This perspective was influenced by social Darwinism, advocating for laissez-faire economics and minimal government intervention. The movement opposed interference in the economy and even resisted child labor bans and working hour limits, while some supported eugenics programs. Key idea number 4. Monopolies are inefficient and harm workers, consumers, and competition. Monopolist companies benefit from economies of scale, but may eventually suffer from dice economies of scale as they get larger. These companies become less efficient, less adaptable, and obtain excessive power over workers and consumers. Monopolies create barriers to entry, exercise control over resources, distort markets, and manipulate prices. They can leverage their dominance to influence political power as well. Key idea number 5. Large companies in non-competitive markets have significant power to influence governments. Large companies in the Gilded Age influenced the government to support their schemes, such as monopolizing markets. Rockefeller, for example, used tactics like withholding permits and manipulating prices. Economic concentration can lead to significant influence over government decisions, as seen in the pharmaceutical industry's lobbying efforts. Oligopolies, as well as monopolies, can exert immense power due to aligned interests. Fewer companies with shared objectives find it easier to cooperate and influence policy. The structure of concentrated industries gives them advantage in government interactions, making it challenging for the government to counter their influence. Key idea number 6. In the early 1900s, the US government began addressing economic consolidation. Significant dissatisfaction with monopolists and oligopolists led to civil unrest in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Anti-monopoly sentiment grew, resulting in the passing of the Sherman Act in 1890. Initially not rigorously enforced, it gained momentum under Theodore Roosevelt, who saw monopolies as a threat to democracy. Roosevelt's administration filed numerous antitrust lawsuits, followed by his successor, William Howard Taft, leading to the breakup of many monopolies, including Standard Oil in 1911. This marked the beginning of a trust-busting policy that continued through much of the 20th century. Key idea number 7. In the mid-20th century, the US government fought against monopolies. The US government historically broke up monopolies, except during the Great Depression when antitrust laws were suspended to aid the economy. After World War II, trust-busting was revived due to the negative impacts seen under Nazi Germany and other fascist states. The symbiotic relationship between the state and monopolies posed dangers. Trust-busting was crucial to prevent the rise of fascism and communism. The Keller-Kefauver Act in 1950 empowered the government to thwart potential monopolies through prevention, control, or reversal of mergers. The tradition of trust-busting continued with significant antitrust cases up to the 1970s. Key idea number 8. The US government broke up AT&T in the 1980s as part of trust-busting campaigns. AT&T was a super-monopolist in the telecommunications industry, controlling multiple sectors. Despite being regulated, it held immense power and stifled competition. Antitrust lawsuits in the 1970s led to its breakup in the 1980s into 7 regional companies, sparking innovation and competition. The breakup of AT&T exemplifies the dangers of monopolies and the benefits of trust-busting, leading to market opening and technological advancements. However, trust-busting has waned since then, contributing to economic concentration. Key idea number 9. Trust-busting, a type of antitrust action, slowed down in the late 20th century. Robert Bork, a legal scholar from the late 20th century, proposed a narrow interpretation of the Sherman Act, focusing solely on consumer welfare and pricing as a litmus test. This approach disempowered trustbusters by shifting the focus away from broader societal impacts of monopolies. Bork's ideas gained popularity in law schools and courts, influencing the Supreme Court in 2004, with Justice Scalia endorsing monopolies as beneficial for the free market system. Key idea number 10. Economic concentration in the US economy had significantly increased by the end of the 20th century. After Bork's Sherman Act reinterpretation, trust-busting lost momentum. The 1990s saw a failed antitrust suit against Microsoft. The Justice Department settled the case under George Bush, leading to a lack of enforcement against monopolies. Monopolies and oligopolies then resurged in industries like telecommunications, airlines, pharmaceuticals, entertainment, and technology due to mergers and lack of intervention. Big corporations like Verizon, AT&T, Live Nation, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Sabi Miller, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and others grew through acquisitions. The government's inaction fueled economic concentration, but there are potential solutions to address this concerning trend. Key idea number 11. The US government can take simple steps to address economic concentration. The text discusses ways for the government to address monopolies and oligopolies, proposing a shift to a protection of competition test and banning mergers that reduce major companies to 4 or fewer. It suggests instituting laws for market investigations and breaking up big companies to restore competition and prevent concentrated private power from undermining democratic governments. The text stresses the importance of returning to the tradition of trust-busting and focusing on preserving competitive markets rather than solely on pricing. In conclusion, economic concentration fluctuated throughout history, with periods of trust-building and trust-busting. Monopolies and oligopolies can harm the economy and society. The call is to return to trust-busting to protect democracy. Economic concentration has re-emerged in the late 20th century, particularly in information technology. The book, The Master Switch, discusses modern economic concentration trends and recommends reading it for further insights. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.